Welcome to Greening Our Cities, an initiative of the Greener City Advocates. This podcast is dedicated to advocating for urban greening and inculcating green spaces in our urban settlements. Today, we are going to talk about understanding what urban greening is and why it matters. My name is Bright Adweje. I'll be your host for today, and co-hosting this episode with me is Ruth Enima Sam and my dear brother Randy Samuel. We have the privilege of being joined by our special guest today. He is a seasoned journalist and he is also the co-founder of Sustainable City Movement. His name is Mr. Sadat Mohammed. Mr. Sadat, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. So this podcast is dedicated to advocating for greener cities. And today we want to talk about understanding what urban greening is. So my first question to you would be, from your own perspective, what do you think urban greening is?
Okay. From my own perspective, urban greening is the greening of urban spaces to improve the quality of living and standard of living, and then improve the environment as well.
Okay, that is great.
Okay, so per your understanding, do you think this is achievable?
It is highly achievable. Urban greening, as humans or dwellers of the earth, it's upon us to make the urban green, because urban greening is of important quality. Just as I said, urban greening improves the quality of living of people. So once we improve the quality of people in the urban spaces or in the urban area, it's good for we, the humans or the dwellers of the earth. So it is highly achievable.
Okay, so if it is achievable, what do we need to do as people to achieve this, to make this a reality?
Yes, making urban greening a reality, we could pick it from many perspectives. One could be greening of our urban areas or urban spaces.
Okay.
Yet it's a means through which we can achieve urban greening. And then getting rid of fuels or rubbish, dumping of rubbish. I think we need to look at how we dump rubbish in our urban areas or in our community.
Okay.
It's another means through which we can improve urban greening.
And what do you think about education?
Education is also a key factor, because without education, there's no way we can achieve a purpose. One needs to understand what he or she is doing. If I'm doing and he or she doesn't understand, at the end of the day, we will come back to square zero. So once there's education, I do understand perfectly what I'm doing. He standing somewhere also understands the purpose or the motive behind what I'm doing. At the end of the day, together we can achieve a purpose.
All right. So while we are trying to understand what urban greening is, I saw somewhere where the buildings in that place were predominantly painted green. It's an urban area with green painted buildings. Is that urban greening?
Urban greening has nothing to do with a color of a paint. Urban greening, they are the method, they are the process, they are the procedure through which the environment becomes sustainable for the dwellers of it. It could be the atmosphere, it could be the water bodies, it could be the vegetation, the forestry, and all that. It has nothing to do with colors.
All right.
And what about when you talk about urban greening, does it mean only trees, flowers? What about backyard gardens?
Yes. Backyard garden, just as I said, it involves vegetation.
Okay.
So once a vegetation, if you go to Israel, the kind of land or soil they have in Israel, it doesn't support highly agricultural practices.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the nature of their soil. So what they do in Israel is that most of the buildings are built in a manner that they have soiled the top of the building.
Okay.
And they are cropping on top of the building.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's not trees. It's just normal vegetation, normal crops, and not trees.
Like vegetables and
like
stuff.
vegetables and stuff. It also contributes to urban greening. So not necessarily trees. So backyard garden, it's also a contribution to urban greening.
Oh, this is a great insight.
Yes.
I want to pick your mind on this, Mr.
Okay.
Sadat. There's this trend where people use what resembles lawns, but they are made of synthetic materials, and then they use it to decorate the fronts of their shops instead of planting grass and then nurturing it to become a proper lawn. Should this practice be encouraged?
It should be highly encouraged. When we talk of urban greening, or as far as urban greening is concerned, the excessive heat in the atmosphere, or the excessive heat on the soil, on the surface of the soil, it causes dehydration in the soil. I don't know if you understand this point that I'm trying to make.
Sure,
if we have artificial grass on top of the soil, it reduces this heat or dehydration that we're talking about here, and it contributes to urban greening. So those who are using artificial grasses and all that in front of their shop, I think it is also a great factor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. So you mean even astroturf is fine?
Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
It helps to
Yes.
to mitigate the risk of climate change.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And it reduces excessive heat in the soil.
Okay.
Yes.
But then using those synthetic materials
yes.
as opposed to planting actual lawns, which one should be more encouraged?
But I think planting actual trees, it's of more benefit than the artificial one.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. This has been a very informative episode on greening our cities. Thank you for tuning in and listening. My name is Bryce Adweje. I've been your host for this episode. See you in our next episode, where we try to explore how we can bring greener city initiatives into our city. Thank you.